Well, are DC Studios and HBO going to play nice together? We got an interesting new report about exactly that, and how even James Gunn has to sell his own product. Let's take a couple minutes to talk about what some of the brass at HBO had to say, what's going on, and why it's actually a great thing for us fans. Well, as many of you know, we're in an absolutely new era of DC Studios. We are headed into Chapter 1, Gods and Monsters, and it's going to give us a whole new take on the DC Universe. Now, this time around, not only are we getting a whole series of movies, but we're also getting a whole series of streaming shows that are going to head to HBO Max. Actually, Chapter 1 kicks off with Creature Commandos, which will be an animated series, along with multiple live-action series like Waller, Lanterns, Paradise Lost, and Booster Gold. So there is a huge slate of DCU content coming to HBO Max. Now, Gunn and Safran have been developing these projects for quite a while, but when it comes to developing shows specifically, they're going to have to work directly with HBO chairman and CEO Casey Bloys. Now, recently, Bloys talked to Variety, and I really did find what he had to say very, very interesting, because nothing here seems automatic. During that interview, he actually said, "As I talked to James and Peter about it, we're going to develop these things, and hopefully they're all great. If they're not, we'll have other options and we'll see." Now that totally caught me off guard, because that really means even though James Gunn might have free reign to run DC Studios, HBO Max is still deciding what they're showing on HBO Max. Now, even though there was very much a wait-and-see vibe from Bloys on the DC Universe, he did emphasize in the same interview that he's really excited and enthusiastic about what James Gunn is about to bring to the table. He went on to say, "What's most exciting is they've got a plan. Anything that James is excited about in terms of DC, I'm good with. I just want to make sure for Max that they're the best shows that we can do." Now, I have to say what he's saying here makes total sense, and I'm actually really glad to hear this. One of the mistakes Marvel made was just turning on the machine and churning out content for Disney Plus so fast that in some cases some of the quality controls got left behind. With all these new DC shows, not only from James Gunn, but the Matt Reeves Batman spin-offs, I love the idea that the head of HBO Max is keeping a close eye on them for quality. DC fans have waited a long time for many of these projects to come to life, and I love the simple fact that Gunn and Safran still have to work together with other executives to kind of sell their vision. Even over at Marvel Studios, Kevin Feige has to work directly with his counterparts at Disney and at Disney Plus, and these kind of relationships are really important to develop the content that works for a platform, and when it works for the platform and ensures we get more of that content, that's why this is so important. Now, when we're going to get our first look at the first project, Creature Commandos, we're going to have to wait and see. We know that it is currently in production, and they're also working on Waller, which was referred to as in active development. So both shows are at least being written, and I really can't wait to see where they both land. We're going to see them both before Superman Legacy comes out, and I think more than likely Creature Commandos is way farther down the line than anybody has clued us in. We're going to have to wait for some more updates on that, but it does sound like an awfully interesting project.